Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Damilola, and in this video I'll be showing you how I make my Nigerian bread at home, because in this UK one of the first heartbreak we had was the bread was tasteless. It took us a while to get used to it. Then I'm like, why am I suffering myself? Then I learned how to make the bread, and here are my ingredients. As you can see, we have butter, egg, milk, sugar, flour and yeast, but the milk has to be warm, not hot, warm milk. Then I added my warm milk into my mixing bowl, 3 eggs. Then I'll be adding my sugar and yeast. And you'll be like, egg in bread? Yes, I use egg in my bread because the taste is different. I've made bread without eggs and I have bread with eggs, and I discovered that the ones that add egg, they're the ones we like best, and it has less crumbs also. So is it not a win-win situation? You can't avoid crumbs in bread, but with adding egg to it makes it a lot more easier. And I'm mixing up my wet ingredients first. You see me adding my melted butter because I had to melt the butter. Because I noticed that since I started adding my dry ingredients into my wet ingredients, not wet ingredient in the dry ingredient, so I started adding the dry ingredient into my wet ingredient, there has been a massive change. The texture, the taste, everything about the bread doesn't get toughened up after a period of time, because this bread I'm making, most times I make the one that will last 2 weeks in the fridge. Like, yes, we take, depending on how often we eat the bread anyway, that stays up to two, it stays up to 2 weeks in the fridge. At least that is how long I have kept them in the fridge. I've not tried it longer, but I'm promising you, without preservative, this bread stays 2 weeks in the fridge, and they are lovely. As you can see right now, I am mixing the dough up, helping the mixer so everything gets in the mixture. And I saw it needed extra flour. I added extra flour into it, and wow, at this point you let it mix for about 10 minutes at interval. If you have a good stand mixer that doesn't need help, you just time it and be looking at it. And if it still needs help it like the way I'm using my spatula to help my own. Then after 10 minutes I'm getting my bowl out. I'm oiling it. I'll be checking it right now, and you'll see that it has this bouncy texture to it when it's ready. You can see it has this bouncy, stretchy texture to it. And I'm getting out my bowl, oiling the bowl and transferring my dough into my bowl. You getting me? You're feeling me? And this is to prevent it from sticking, because right now at this point I'd already preheated my oven, and after putting the dough in the bowl, I will oil every part of it again so that it doesn't stick to the bowl, and put it in the oven to proof for an hour and a half. You can proof it for 2 hours depending on the quantity of bread, and depending on whether, if it's a wheat bread, I let it proof for longer. So I covering it with foil and putting it in the oven to proof for an hour and a half. Now I'm oiling my pan. No, I'm lacing my pan with baking sheet, because this pan had accidents in my early days of making bread. It had accidents, so it never recovered. I'm using oil instead of flour because, as I said, for me, and this is what works for me, it gives me that better consistency. And I'm folding the bread so that all the excess air will get out. Now I'm about to measure the bread so that I can cut it into 2 equal halves, so I don't have a bigger bread on one pan and the other pan is small, so everything is equal. Here is me dividing it and measuring it to make sure that I have the exact same measurement that is equal in half. I've done the maths in my head. After this, when it's time to, I'm going to roll the bread out, and while I'm rolling the bread out, you will see that I still use oil on my rolling pin to make it easier. And I don't know, flour just gave me a different consistency, and I wasn't feeling using flour. But using oil, I also learned it on YouTube, and trust me, it has changed my bread game. And this this particular bread, because if I'm making bread that lasts for 2 weeks, I make twice of this quantity, but this didn't even use 5 days. No, it didn't. And here it is, putting in the first pan and putting in the second pan. Then I covered it with cling film, put it back in the oven to proof for another 30 minutes, after which I baked it for 25 minutes. I'm going to put everything, the time and degree, in the description box for you, and that is it. After that, the bread was ready and lush, as you had seen in the beginning. Oh God, when you eat this bread, you will not want to buy bread again if you are in the UK. And as I said, I've had it for this particular batch lasted for just 5 days, but the one you are seeing over there, it was already 2 weeks already, and I'll be cutting it now for you to see it once again. Please, if you like this video, subscribe. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, give a comment. If you tried out this recipe, give us a thumbs up, and also invite other people to this channel. Let them come and learn with us. You see, 2 weeks old bread, still loving, shopping. And we'll see you again in our next video. Bye.